And we're going to be here covering this event today. And what we're going to do is we're going to go around all the different camps, and then we're going to bring you all the exciting race heats and everything. So welcome. This is a special edition of Solve Video Productions. We're here to help promote this smaller version of the what I call hydroplanes. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a day of exciting racing here, coming to you from Silver Lake in Everett, Washington. Enjoy. Coming up next, we're going to be going to the race drivers meeting, which is going to be held in just a few minutes. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a day of small version hydroplane racing here from the shores of Silver Lake. Reporting for Solve Video Productions, along with cameraman J.C. Bailey.
Make sure everybody gets off on a safe day today and has a good time. The course is in, as you see. It's a pretty good course. 4 buoy turns in the first, 3 in the second. Good wide turns. It should be a safe course for everybody. Once again, today we're going to have a roll call. We'll call with your boat numbers. Let me introduce your referees for today. Dave Cosette, your main referee, and his assistant, Rick Sandstrom. Dave, anything you want to say at this point? Okay. The schedule is here. Take a look at it. We had to do some minor changes to accommodate a few people that had some situations that were beyond their control. So hopefully everybody understands that. Chief Scorer Jan Shaw, if you have not registered or your number's not called this morning, make sure you get back to her and get that straightened out as quick as possible. We'd like the Jackson football team for being our security people today from the Jackson High School in the local area. They're also doing the parking lot detail as their community service today. So a real group effort here, part of Salty Sea Days. Again, a great event that's going on. Fireworks downtown this afternoon about 9:30 on the waterfront. I guess that'd be this evening. Any of you that can get packed up and get that direction, there's a great fireworks display there. Tomorrow, if you're not doing anything, it's a great music display down here in Carnival. Some great food down there. So if you want to take a trip to the waterfront tomorrow, enjoy Salty Sea Days. There's some great venues going on down there tomorrow.
45 SS, Matt Yarno, Kermit Bergeson, Drew Thompson. 350 Hydro, Bill Diamond. Chris Diamond. Jerry Lausch. C Stock Hydro, Dale Bartley. Dave Anderson. First, second, and third per the combinations. 3-minute gun for everybody except antique. The service classes, they'll have a 4-minute gun. Watch the clock. We might drop a minute. 3 laps. Be in the water prior to your heat. Be ready to go. When leaving the pits, go out and around the corner. Down and around, come by the barge so the scorers can see your number. Score up around the far left-hand corner, around all the buoys. Straight line from the exit pin to the starting line. The overlap and bearing away rules are in effect from when you leave the pits, not just during the heat. Do not interfere with anybody once you are done. If you're catching a back marker, do not interfere with their finish.
We'll keep everybody off the dock. If you see anybody that's doing something that's unsafe, let us know. We'll take care of it.
2, 3. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are at Silver Lake for the Small Powerboat Racing Association, and with me today is Bob Wardinger. Hello, Bob.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing real good today. We're going to talk about, go ahead and give us a history. Tell us about yourself and how you got involved in this sport.
Well, I saw plans in a popular science magazine when I was about 13 years old, and went ahead and built a little hydro and started testing it in the Sammamish Slough, and then gradually found the racers and started racing. And now it's been a number of years since then that I've been doing this, and I've had the fortune to run even bigger outboards, inboards, and even a unlimited every now and then. So it's been a good well, it's actually more than a couple of years now.
Give us some examples, some of the races that you won. You said you just came back from Europe?
Yeah, I just came back from the 24-hour race at Rouen, where it's just like the 24-hour car race, but it's boats running on the Seine at speeds of about 110, 115 miles an hour, and 45 to 50 boats start at 4 p.m. on a Saturday and finish at 4 p.m. on Sunday, running a 2-mile course around an island there, while the coal barges go through every couple of hours, and you try and dodge the debris. It's a 35th year that they've run it. It's a big traditional race in Europe, and we were very fortunate to win it, I and 2 French drivers that I co-drove with.
So you were actually participating, and you actually did win the race?
Yes, we did. We're running a 16-foot French hull with about a 2.5-liter, 300 horsepower Mercury on the back, and we did win the race here about 3 weeks ago.
Okay, let's talk about your boat, and just start from the bow here. It is called the bow, correct?
This is not.
This is not your boat. Okay.
That's okay.
That's all right. Okay, well we'll just go ahead. We'll just go ahead and talk about this boat here, so the viewers can get a look and get kind of an idea how this boat operates.
Okay, what this is a runabout style hull, which is a displacement hull. It has a position here where the driver kneels inside the cockpit. His left hand is on a throttle, and his right hand is on a steering wheel, and he uses his body weight because these boats weigh in the hundreds of pounds, and the body weight affects the steering in that. He actually moves his body weight and leans over the side just like you would in a motorcycle to be able to put it around the corner. These boats run relatively close to each other, within a few feet, and the competition is very, very good because they're pretty much even on speeds.
How about they use outboard engines, different types of engines? Each one is totally different?
There's many different types of engines and classes, and there's a number of those classes here today. This happens to actually be an antique motor from the late 1930s, and these engines have been running now over 60 years. There's quite a collection of them here. They have a lot of fun machining and repairing and fixing, and run some really exciting racing that you'll see later on. Probably the biggest classes are stock engines that are by specification kept very much the same. So you have about the same horsepower, and there's a minimum weight in these classes, so the driver, boat, and engine's weighed. So it now gets down to driving skill and perhaps choice of propeller, and those are the most fun to run, and those are the ones I enjoy the most because they're very close racing.
So you're talking about each one of these, everybody designs their own boats. Now, how does a person go about getting one of these boats approved for the American Powerboat Racing Association?
There's specifications, and the builders that build around the country know those specifications, so it's pretty easy to just buy a boat that will fit the specifications and be reasonably safe and easy to start out with. And then the engines are also easy to obtain, so you end up with an engine, a boat, and a propeller, and some fuel, and you're able to go racing.
So they come out and they look at it, and then the guy comes by, like at the driver's meeting, he said the referee comes by and he inspects the boat and improves it.
What he's actually doing is looking at the safety condition for today. So in other words, this is early in the season, so you want to check a lot of the safety stuff, which is like kill switches, steering, fasteners, how strong everything looks, that things haven't come loose just sitting in the garage over the winter. So that was primarily the safety inspection. After the racing's done, the boat is then checked. Was it legal? Was the engine legal? Was it modified, depending on the rules of the class? And does it make the weight that it has to make? So kind of like horse racing, where they carry weights and etc. These boats are scrutineered or measured so that they meet the rules. But the first inspection of the day that he was referring to was the safety inspection.
Okay, so the gentleman's coming around and doing inspecting, and we're getting awfully close to the first kickoff of the first race heat.
We are. There'll be some good racing here. This is a small course. It gets a little bumpy out there, and it's pretty much a driver's course. There's top speeds here in some of the classes will be probably 90, 95 miles an hour. And the beginning classes will probably be as low as around 40, 45 miles an hour. But because of the smallness of the course, there'll be good racing in all the classes.
So how many heats are we looking at today here in Silver Lake?
Oh, you're probably going to see about 40 heats.
That's a lot, and it comes off a lot. Well, thanks a lot, Bob, for this interview, and we'll make sure you get a copy of it. Thanks again, Bob.
Great, thank you very much.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, a behind-the-scenes interview here at Silver Lake in Everett, Washington. And we're just about getting set for the kickoff of the first heat. And so this is Curtis Black reporting for Solid Video Productions, along with cameraman J.C. Bailey. Productions, I'm your host, Curtis Blackwell, along with cameraman J.C. Bailey. And with me is Vanita Poindexter. And before the race gets underway, we're going to go ahead and talk to her. We've got another boat firing up back here. All the action's starting to happen. Vanita, how did you get into this racing?
I actually got into it with a former friend. He raced, and so got me into it. And this is probably about my 10th, 12th year racing.
So you've been doing this for 12 years. How many races have you won in that time?
Actually, I've only won like a half of a race. I've gotten hundreds of seconds and thirds, but I'm going for my first win this year. So.
What is it, Vanita, that is most interesting that keeps you going in this sport?
Part of it is the people. The camaraderie of the group is just incredible. They're wonderful people. The other part of it is just the adrenaline rush. You know, you're out there on the water and just that's all you're focused on for those few minutes. That's your total focus. Anything else in life could just die away and doesn't matter. So it's really cool.
Now, what is it that a person has to do to get involved in this sport?
It's really pretty easy. All you need to do is stop by a race. We're also on the internet. We have a telephone hotline. Just contact a boat racer and take a look at the different classes depending on your body weight and that type of thing, what your preferences are. Pick out a boat, a style, and you can pretty much find equipment within the club or various racers who are either stepping up to a different class or changing to a different boat, and they have used equipment.
What do you do when you're not racing this boat?
As far as other hobbies and things?
Yes.
Okay. Just, I don't know, house stuff. I enjoy camping. I love to travel, that type of thing. Biking, all types of variety.
How many races have you ran since you started this boat?
Oh, I've had this boat for going on 3 years, and I race probably about 12 races a year. And this is the third boat I've raced. It's a third boat, but probably I've raced about 10 different variety of classes.
How easy is it to get a sponsor to do this?
It's just a matter of going out and doing it. My sponsor is a family sponsor, and but a lot of the racers either have friends or family sponsors, or just going out. I've gotten Les Schwab tires, put new tires on my boat trailer for me, so that was nice. And I had some other people just volunteer little things like some parts and that type of thing. So it's easier if the people have come out to the race and seen the racing before, as far as just going to someone and saying, would you sponsor me? Because a lot of people don't understand what our sport is.
Any idea how this sport got started? You know anything about the history of it? If you don't, that's all right too, Vanita.
I don't know the long-term history, no.
Well, this, ladies and gentlemen, this is one sport that we at Solid Video Productions believe in supporting. We also do the big limited hydroplanes, and so with that, I see that we're getting a signal that the first race is going to be starting. And Vanita, we'll be back a little bit later on to talk with you, and you're going to be on our public access show next week, and we'll go in a little bit further detail of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Curtis Blackwell with Vanita here in the pits of the Power Racing boat, and let's go to Heat 1A. The heats are going to be back-to-back. They are going to be running approximately 25 or 30 of them today, and you're going to see it. Solid Video Productions covering here today, the smaller version of the hydroplanes. Some of these run on Mercury outboards, and I tell you, there they go. It is underway. They're going to be doing 3 laps, ladies and gentlemen. They allow them to go out for 3 laps at least, and also a gentleman I was talking with earlier, Bob Whittaker, will be joining us also a little bit later on. Lots of excitement here today. Okay, they're on lap number 2. Our cameraman today is J.C. Bailey, who is at a very good vantage point of being able to pick up these miniature hydro, as I call them, miniature hydroplanes, and they're excellent. They're exciting.
And Jake Bannister. And that was a legal start.
Wardinger.
Right, the D-Stocks are heading out on the course now. They've just fired the 3-minute gun, which means 3 minutes to the start. And they'll go out and mill around for about 2 minutes and then come down on the line. The D-Stock class is a class using a 44 cubic inch Mercury, speeds of about 82, 83 miles an hour on this short course, and the engines are very, very closely matched, so the competition is very, very close. The course is pretty short today, so probably first guy to the corner may pull it off. Let's see what happens. Right now the boats are circling and getting a time on the start. The time from the exit pin down to the starting line looks to be in the neighborhood of about 5 or 6 seconds. And so now that they know that, they'll mill until they make that start.
How fast will they be going today?
Into the first turn, probably about 81, 82 miles an hour in a about 145-pound boat, and about 6 inches to a foot between them.
So each one of them, so they get what? When they do their laps, they can just do 1 or 2 laps until they get the white flag, and the white flag starts it?
The white flag actually signifies 1 minute to the start. And then a digital clock that's out on the end of the dock out there is actually what the drivers are looking at. Digital clock has very large numbers, easy to see from the race course, and it counts down the final minute. And the idea is to be at that starting line just as that clock turns 0, because if you're there ahead of time, you're disqualified, no points, and if you're behind, you're just late.
Excellent. So, in other words, what you want to do is be there right there, run it starts in 0?
That's right. So there's really a game in that final minute of circling and positioning, because you also have a favorite lane you probably want to be in, and there's probably somebody else who wants to be in that same lane with you. So there's a lot of tactics here now. The 1 minute flag is up, the white flag is showing. So now what they're doing is kind of idling up the backstretch, killing off that 1 minute time, and working to get themselves coming off that exit pin with about 5 or 6 seconds to go to the start.
Now I see that you said they're slowing down real slow. Like you said, they don't want to be right up on top.
They don't want to be too early, and they don't want to be late. So it's a matter of do I run a little shorter and slow it down, a little wider? This is a very important part of this game, because the start's one of the major secrets here today, having a good start and being in the turner first.
I see they're coming up right up there now.
Right, they're now lining up and accelerating toward the line, and here they come. Looks like a great start, and speeds right now are just climbing to the small 70s, and they're probably in about 80 miles an hour there into the first turn. And of course, with all the spray flying, if you're behind the leaders, it's very difficult to see where you're going, so you kind of drive by feel and sensing as you see things through the various amounts of spray. The turn fin that allows you to make the corner throws quite a bit of spray in the corner, but without that turn fin, you'd never be able to make the turn.
And they're going to be doing 3 laps also, correct?
Right. They're now coming down, completing their first lap, so they're turning a lap here in about probably 40 seconds or 45 seconds.
That noise you hear in the background is getting ready for the next heat.
That's right. That's a motor being warmed up for the next heat, and contributing to the kind of the music in the air here. Yeah. That's great. Now the fellow in front, John Duvernay Steen, carries US 1 on his boat, which signifies that he was the national high point champion last year, which means he had the highest average of 15 or more races in the country in this particular class. And he's got a fellow right on his tail. We'll just have to see how this works out. They're coming around, they're finishing their second lap, and we'll see what they do here for the third lap.
He's really pouring it on.
Right, and the second and third laps get a little bumpier. The longer you run, the more the water chops up, and although it looks relatively calm from here, you can get bounced around in these pretty good. There's a small cushion of air underneath you that kind of hanging you in the air. If this was a windy day, we'd be worrying about blowing over backwards, and so we'd ride a little bit further in the boats. Because our weight is a considerable part of the whole rig, as a driver, we tend to keep moving ourselves in it, just like we're on a motorcycle, to find the optimum place as we run. Now they're coming down for the finish here, and these 3 boats are relatively close, only separated by a couple of seconds.
And Bernie Little takes third. John
Burn you a little.
Right, that's right.
It's a big hydroplane.
That's right.
I'm not the only one who makes mistakes here.
That's right. That's exactly right. So we'll see how they do in their second heat. Now what they've done is they've gotten points for first, second, third, fourth, and on down. And you run a second heat, and you take the total of the 2 heats points, and that decides your overall winner. If there happened to be a tie between the 2 heats, like you got a first and a second, and another fella got a first and a second, they go to your elapsed time, and the one with the shortest elapsed time or quicker heats wins.
Okay, so right now they're going to be running another heat, or what's the deal?
They'll actually come in, put the boat up on shore, take a look at it, put some fuel in it, and after another couple of classes run, they'll go back out and run a second heat, which will complete their total race for the day in this class.
This gentleman just pulling right here now was first place, is that correct?
No, he was not first place. He, I believe, was probably fourth. Our first place boat actually is coming in here as, actually it was not US 1, it turned out. It's the boat there on the left, which is 94R. So
The best water we've had this year, so it's wonderful to be here. Had a great time. Hope I can do it again in the next heat.
All right, we'll let you get back to your work.
All right, thank you very much.
Your name was, sir?
Colonel R.C. Yeager.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye.
All right. That's All Video Productions. Coming you now here, the another one of the race heats going on in the background. Looks like Netta is busy getting ready, watering down her boat. The interview we had with her a little bit earlier, you can see what she's doing now. She's taking and she's watering her boat down, getting it wet, getting it ready, just getting it prepped up. So it looks like she's going to be going out there. And this is the interview for public access, and we'll be talking with her a little bit more. We get a close look detail at her boat. I see that you're getting your boat ready.
Yeah, just kind of cleaning it off, and as soon as they start the green flag, I'm just going to fire it up and let the motor warm up a little bit and make sure everything's okay.
Well, good, and we'll be here to cover for you. All right. As you heard, she is going to, as soon as they get the 3-minute warning for the boat, she's going to fire it up and test up her engine, get it ready. This is Curtis Black. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Reporting to you from Silver Lake, Washington with, scratch that. This is Curtis Black reporting from Silver Lake, Everett, Washington, along with cameraman J.C. Bailey. Back in just a couple minutes, folks. At least getting a start on it, getting it cranked up there. See, one of the things about using these outboard engines is that you have to know not a whole lot about it, but you have to know how to drive one of these boats. And as Bob Whittinger was telling me a little bit earlier, and when he was calling that race earlier, he's saying that you have to get certain weight qualifications there. So as we're waiting for her to fire that up, as boat sponsored by Quick and Bright Racing, family owned, of course. Oh, there it goes. The engine is firing. Like I said, they are allowed to fire up the engine during the 3-minute to get it tested, at least get it warmed up. As you can see, she's getting it. I don't know if you can see this or not, but on the right-hand side there is a throttle as a control. Oh. Just a regular, ordinary outboard motor to race these things. What an interesting sport, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know about you, but I'm excited about this. Hi, how you doing today?
Pretty good.
Your name is?
My name is Jacob Bannister.
Which boat do you drive?
I drive 73R A-Stock Hydro.
And how soon will you be going out, sir?
I just went out.
How did you do?
I got 2nd place and I got a 4th place.
Excellent. And how long have you been in the sport?
This is my 5th year.
And did you get a sponsor, or did you just decide to get into it yourself?
No, my dad was always interested in it, and we found it from a friend of ours and got started in it. I started before him, and now he's racing, and he's out here right now. The person that just died.
Oops. You never know what's going to happen in this sport, do you?
Nope.
Just got to go with the flow. Okay. Well, good luck.
Time. Yeah, you too.
Thanks. All right there, ladies and gentlemen, that was another quick interview with a driver that was just out there. And Quick and Bright Racing Team now has fired the engine up there. And she seems happy with that. So, yeah. We're coming to you from Silver Lake out in Everett, Washington. Every single year they have this race out here. And I first came out this sport probably 15, 20 years ago when I learned how to swim here in this lake. So it's actually like coming back home. And also, too, a little bit later on, we're going to be, again, having Bob Wardinger, I'll get that name right before they, Bob Wardinger, again, another one of those class sport races. So, see she's all ready, and we'll be back in just a minute.
D-Stock second heat, and they're headed out on the course now. The fellow that won the first heat had trouble getting his engine started. Everybody was out there, and he was starting to begin to talk to that engine, and he talked it into starting, so he's gotten out too. There's about 2 minutes to the start right now as they mill around, and the fellows that didn't get the great start last time are probably counting now and again to make sure they've got a little better timing this time.
Okay, you said that in the last one you made a mistake on the calling the boat itself?
No, I actually made a mistake calling the boat, and hadn't realized that this fellow named the Colonel was in front, and the boat that was a little bit faster, US 1, with John Steen driving it, was in second. So let's see how it shapes up this time, because I could see it switching just as easy as not.
So you just never know who can win each heat, right?
No, it's especially in the stock racing. No, it's definitely not a given. That's what keeps everybody so interested in it, and really keeps the fun in it. Is you just can't count on blowing anybody else away. It's a lot of tactics, a lot of strategy, a lot of thinking, and a fair amount of luck.
Lots of luck in this. Now, how did this sport get started?
Well, in the 30s, they took small runabouts and they raced. Actually, 20s and 30s raced to the fishing grounds, and after a while, they began to form clubs and race against each other. I've seen pictures of some of the moneyed people in the East wearing dress whites, actually, in race boats from those years. But in the 50s, after the Second World War, when the engines were more plentiful and reliable and easy to run, and there was definitely a portion of the boating fraternity that was dedicated to racing, and it grew and grew and grew from there.
Now, how does one go about, say that they're just about ready to start, they're going to do one more lap before that?
No, they're actually on the 1 minute now, and there's less than a minute to go, probably a neighborhood of about 15, 18 seconds as they start to come around the bend there and line up for the start. So they're just about to make the start now. Some has gone wide to build their speed up. Some want to have the inside lane, and there's a fella in here early and a little bit slow, and here comes a fella right on the money at high speed, blowing right through the middle of the pack. And now they're headed in the first turn, and fastest boat is probably last into the first turn. Let's see how many of them he can catch. He's actually gone from fourth to second in the first turn, and now he's chasing the leader. But the fellow who got fourth before absolutely nailed the start, so he's in first. So it's going to be interesting to see how the points work out. So right now we're curious whether second place can actually catch first place. First place fellow made a heck of a great start, and that's what I mean. It's kind of like rolling the dice. It gets down to the skill of the driver both on starts and driving, because the equipment is so evenly matched.
That's neat. I see they're coming around there, what I call the south turn.
Right, it is the south turn, and starting to separate between the boats a little bit, and second place is sure wishing he was in first place at the moment. The race will probably be decided on time.
How wide is this race course?
Well, a lap on this race course is probably in the neighborhood of about 3/4 of a mile to a mile, and they're getting around it in less than a minute.
Less than a minute. So we got one more lap to go then, correct?
Yeah, we're just started the final lap here, and the fella in second place is not going to be able to catch first place. It'll be over before he crawls up on him, because he's just got too much distance to make up. So with an excellent start, even though he didn't really have the speed, Mitch Sampson, who ran back in the pack before, has got himself a heat win. So it's not just speed, it's starting and driving also.
I see a checkered flag has come out.
Right, checkered, and here comes Mitch Sampson to be able to take the first place, and behind him John Steen will take second, and third place will be the Colonel, who won the last heat, and here he is back in third place, and fourth place will end up being Craig Fiorli from Seattle.
Well, I know that you have to go and get ready. Thanks a lot, Bob, and we'll see you again at the next race. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to attempt to talk again with the winner when he comes in. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, here coming to you from Silver Lake and Silver Lake, Everett, Washington. Our cameraman today is J.C. Bailey, who does such a fine, outstanding job. And I'm your reporter, Curtis Blackwell. And we'll wait for the winner to come in, and as he brings his boat in, we'll attempt to get an interview with him, talk with him, and congratulate him on his win there. So that's a D-stock hydro as he comes in there. This is the 70R. They're sticking the wheel underneath there to pull it in up out of there. Mitch Sampson. All right. Mitch Simpson, congratulating him. They bring in the 70R. Congratulations to him there. And they're bringing the boat around, and I'll attempt to let him do his thing. Mitch, congratulations.
Thank you. It was a great day.
How did you, let's look up over here, our camera over here. Curtis Blackwell, Saw Video Productions, reporting on this sport. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. It's just a great day out here at Silver Lake. Gotta love the weather. All the conditions are great.
What was going through your mind, and what made you decide to start the race the way you did?
Clock at 0.
You were just, I was watching you, and you just slowed right down, and then you just took right off.
Yeah, it's kind of a guessing game sometimes. I guessed right.
How did you get into this sport?
I got into it with my dad about 15 years ago.
So it's a family tradition. That's right. Okay. Well, we'll let you go and get back your fine tuning. And when's the next time you run?
That'll be next weekend. We're done for the day, sir.
Well, congratulations, Mitch, and that's Mitch Sampson winning that last heat. Congratulations. Thanks a lot. All right. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Another interview with the winner, and we'll be back in just a little bit. You're watching coverage of the hydroplane races out here at Silver Lake, the smaller versions. I'm your host, Curtis Blackwell, along with the cameraman, J.C. Bailey.
Line, followed by A stock runabout, Formula A runabout.
Bob Warding. It's very interesting to watch how he goes about it. He's very, very professional. And as he was telling me earlier, I saw some of his pictures, and when we do an interview with him a little bit later on, maybe we'll get a chance to look at some of those pictures. Some of those pictures of where he raced over in Europe. So he knows this sport, and I'm really glad he was able to join us today. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching from Silver Lake in Everett, Washington, the running of the small power boats. There's all kinds of engines out here today. Mercury outboards, and it's very simple to get into sport. All right, there he goes. Yeah, look, he's going to do it. He got a little bit behind. Yes. Yes, as the announcer is saying out there to the audience, he has won almost 99, almost 100 races. Now there's a white flag on the course. He is also trying to go for 100 races, 100 wins. As you were heard earlier, I was talking with him over there in our interview over in his camp, and he'll be joining us all day long. He loves the sport. Most of the people, that's what keeps this sport going. People get out there and they enjoy themselves, and it doesn't take a whole lot. You could probably get involved in this for less than $1,000. You know, have yourself family sport. Get involved. I'm going to go ahead and walk over to where Bob's camp is and find out if we can't get an interview with him. So we're going to do that right now as we head over there. Let's take a look at those hydroplanes as I call them small miniature hydroplanes as they go around. Again, as you can hear in the background there, a lot of the engines are firing up for the next one. They keep these heats going continuously, practically, so sometimes there's only about a 5-minute pause in between each race. Looks like the last one. Well, I tell you, it's really exciting. It's all kinds of racing teams. So if you're interested in getting into this, you can contact the local Powerboat Racing Association. Well, we're waiting for Bob to come in. Hi, let's talk with this. Okay. No problem. Not a problem. Congratulations. How well did you do in that race?
We won that heat. That's great. We'll see how the second heat turns out. And we're testing a few propellers, so we're going to change out another propeller and try it second heat too.
And I tell you, this is my first time doing this on the small ones. Now the 3-minute warning gun has gone out. The lady that's going to be joining us, Vanetta, is going to be joining us on public access next week. She is now boat number 62R, is just heading out. She was saying a little bit earlier she was having problems with a brand new engine and just not quite running the way she wants it to. So you have a brand new engine on there and you're trying to experiment with it?
Actually, it's an engine that I've been running for a couple years, but last year it wasn't performing quite right, so we've been doing some motor work on it, and I discovered that the block isn't quite up to the right specs, and so I actually need to find a new block, so we're trying to do everything we can to adjust the motor for now until we find a new block.
So you can't get another engine and put it on there right now, or?
I can borrow one. There aren't, well, to go out and buy one's like $1,800, so no, I don't have the funds to do that, but and there's some I can borrow, but I'm trying to get this going so that I know where it's at. But the second one, it was just the prop. Tried a different prop. The first prop, it ran, but obviously wasn't out front, so I figured, well, what the heck, try a different prop, and this one I just couldn't get it on plane.
Well, you know what? The plain truth is that you're very enthusiastic, and I can tell that you're ready to give it, and you always give it your all.
Oh yeah, I mean, if nothing else, it's just a day of fun, so I try hard. It's some days are better than others, but it's still a good day, so.
All right, well, we'll be back in just a few minutes. We'll let you go ahead and get your adjustments, and then we'll be back over here to kind of do our public access interview for when we do it live, and then you'll be able to describe the boat, okay?
Okay, great, thank you.
All right, there it is. We'll be back in just a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen, watching coverage of the APBBA. Everett, Washington. I'm your host, Curtis Blackwell, along with cameraman J.C. Bailey. We'll be back in just a few minutes. These that are going to be handed out here this year, the 1998 Everett Salty Sea Days Regatta. Vanita Poindexter. I'm Curtis Blackwell, Soft Video Production with cameraman J.C. Bailey. And Vanita, you're going to now explain to us how this boat works.
Okay, well, it's a runabout style. You have two different style boats here. This is a runabout, which is the pointy nose, compared to the hydro, which has the sponsons on it. And it's a 10.5-foot boat powered by a 15-horse Johnson. And boat driver, all the gear, motor, and everything weighs in at 355. You have to meet a minimum weight. And it's basically just on an on-off throttle, gas-powered. And when you start out, you may have noticed how you have to lean forward to get the boat on plane, and then the reason on the second heat there, I wasn't able to continue, because if you're not on plane by the time the white flag goes up, you have to stop, because that's the start of the race. And then they're only designed to turn left, so you just continue around the course in a left-hand direction. So.
Now, did you design this boat, or did you buy this boat as is?
No, I bought the boat as is from Earl Garrison. He's a senior racer. He doesn't race anymore, but he raced up until about 5 years ago. He set national records with it. It's an older boat. It's probably about 6-7 years old now. And some say that that's getting too old, that maybe I should be looking at a new boat. And I'm kind of looking at one, but I'm real comfortable with this boat, so I'm trying to work on the motor, but I may just need a new boat to be really competitive. And then,
Wait, we're going to wait just a second while they're firing up the boat. It's kind of hard to hear. Hi, Curtis Blackwell here with Vanita Poindexter, and she's going to explain to us how this Quick and Bright racing team and how this boat and how she got into sport. Go ahead, Vanita.
okay. or cleaning product out of and it was built for Earl Garrison, and he set national